Hey, Rush fans! Welcome to episode 77 of Rush Roundtable. On this episode, we each chose 5 songs that, for one reason or another, we were not able to see live, that we wish we had been able to see. Whether you've seen Rush 100 times, back to the days of touring with Kiss, or you've only seen them once on R40, we're certain that there's a few songs that have been so elusive. What are your top 5 songs you wish you'd seen live? Join us for this ambitious episode to see how your picks stack up. Enjoy the show.
This episode of Rush Roundtable is sponsored by Fantunes Animation Studios. Fantunes is well known in the Rush community for their variety of unique Rush merchandise, including limited edition prints, coloring in comic books, and hardcover books such as the Neil Peart Illustrated Quotes book and The Making of a Feral the King's graphic novel, as well as various other items. You can search their impressive catalog of products by visiting their website at fantunes.shop. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Rush Roundtable. Today we are going through songs that the band played live that we were not able to see that we wish we had been able to see. So quite the tongue twister there. But first things first, today is Monday, May 24th. So that's the day we're recording. This will be posted in a couple days, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Lakeside Park Day, as we like to call it, because everyone would gather on the 24th of May, sitting in the sand to do a Rush Roundtable. And it's also Victoria Day in Canada, so we wanted to give a shout out to that as well. We have 2 brand new guests. This is their first time on a Rush Roundtable. So Patrick, why don't you go ahead and quickly introduce yourself?
Hey, thanks, Ryan. I'm Patrick Mest. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm 34 years old. I've seen Rush live 4 times, and I've been a Rush fan for 15 years now, since 2006. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. And Ralph.
I am Ralph Huffnagel from New Jersey, outside of Philadelphia. Been a Rush fan since about 1983. Grace Under Pressure was my first tour, and I've seen everyone since then.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have both of you. We're glad to have Michelle and Mario and Alex back. And yeah, we're going to, like I said, we're going to get into basically songs that Rush did in fact play live that we were not able to see for whatever reason. And we're going to tell you, what songs we would have liked to have seen the band do that we missed. We're going to go, everyone's going to say their number 5, and then everyone's going to say their number 4, and so on. So we're going to start top left corner with Michelle. Go ahead, you're number 5.
All right. Before I start my list, I wanted to say it was so hard. Thanks for this difficult assignment, Ryan. I've been to so many shows. It was really hard to find one song that they hadn't played, but luckily you'll understand why the later tours I wasn't able to go. So my number 5 is What You're Doing. I unfortunately missed the Time Machine tour. Don't hate. I was in the hospital giving birth to twins that were trying to come early. I sent my husband, who was nice enough to play a live portion of the show, holding up his phone while I was in the hospital. But after I heard the concept of the live show and they played What You're Doing, and I saw how it developed on video later on, I was so intrigued and upset that I missed it. It's an awesome classic Rush song.
Okay, just for clarity, you mean R40, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. No. Okay, just want to make sure.
I missed both. I have 3 kids.
Well, all right. So my number 5. Well, let me first say, I took this step further in terms of the criteria for this topic. I've been on almost all these roundtables because I host them all, and everyone kind of knows what I like at this point, if you've seen enough of the roundtable. So I didn't want to just pick 5 of my favorite songs that I didn't get to see live from the 80s or whatever. That would be just too simple. So I became a fan of Rush in 2007. I regretfully missed the Snakes and Arrows tour because I was given the option to see one concert that summer, Rush or Motley Crue. I told Donna Halper this last week on our deep dive, and she looked like she was about ready to kill me, and rightfully so. Um, it's one of the worst decisions I ever made, but I wasn't a big enough Rush fan at the time. I was a little bit more of a Motley Crue fan. So that's why I didn't see that tour. So what I did was from that point onward is onwards in terms of forward in time. I didn't go past 2007 when I made my list because a lot of the songs that were played on Snakes and Arrows were not played. Well, I don't want to say a lot, but a handful of the songs played on Snakes and Arrows were not played past Snakes and Arrows. So number 5 on my list should come of no surprise to anyone, Armor and Sword, because of how much I love that song. I put it 5th on my list only because I like the studio version better, but it still would have been one that I would have loved to have seen live at some point in the band's career. So number 5 for me is Armor and Sword. So Pat?
All right, my number 5, I'm going to go with The Twilight Zone. So this may seem like an odd deep cut choice, but this song kind of holds a special place in my heart. When I was first introduced to Rush by a friend in college, he sent me 3 songs, Animate, Limelight, and The Twilight Zone. And of those 3 songs, I've been able, to see 2 of them live. I've seen Limelight and I've seen Animate, but never got to see Twilight Zone. So in my mind, it would have been like a fun kind of symmetry to have been able to see all 3 of those songs live, the first 3 songs that got me into Rush. So The Twilight Zone it is for me.
Awesome. Ralph?
So my first concert was Grace Under Pressure. And then after doing the research for this to make sure songs that I could see, I found there were 6 songs that I've missed through the Rush tours. And one of them was before they'd released Grace Under Pressure, they'd had a warm-up tour at Radio City Music Hall that I heard about and wanted to go, but I was 13 and wasn't allowed. So I found out that they did Countdown on that tour. I think that was one of the last times they did that. So that's my number 5. I would have loved to see Countdown.
Cool. So 6 songs total that they've
Yes.
played that you
So-
have not seen, and
Correct.
we need 5 for this list.
Yes. So one's hanging out.
All right.
Should I name that?
I guess we'll get to that at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
We might as
Who's
well.
the odd man out?
Yeah. We'll
Right.
we'll see who the odd man out is at the end, I guess.
Okay.
Or maybe before your number 1. All
Okay,
right.
sounds good.
So Mario, you're number 5.
Well, being a New York kid, I'm always proud to say I'm from New York, and my number 5 has to be the Camera Eye. And I would have loved to see them play the Camera Eye in New York, not Philadelphia, where I believe they played it, or New Jersey, but New York City, because the song was literally about New York City. And when Getty says New York City, you have the whole crowd of New York City start screaming and chanting. We're like, hey, we're here. Just to be part of that, I think would have been very special for me. So the Camera Eye, number 5.
Well, I will tell you, as I've said a couple times, I was there in Madison Square Garden when they played the Camera Eye, and there was nothing like it. The place erupted. So it gives me chills just thinking about it. Alex, number 5?
I'm in a similar boat to Ralph. My first concert was Grace Under Pressure in January of 1986. And going through Setlist FM and looking at all the shows that I went to, there was a total of 635 songs played that I saw Rush. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but I'm going to go way back to the 77-78 tour, Crescent Steel, and my number 5 is The Fountain of Lamneth, which they only played 4 times in that tour and never played it again. But I would have loved to see that song live. That song is spectacular. We talked about it on the Epics. It's a great, great song.
Awesome. Michelle, you're number 4.
Middletown Dreams. High energy song that I would love to have just heard live. I imagine how amazing it would have been live. And unfortunately, it was never played on any of the tours where I saw them.
Yeah. Great tune. Really great live. My number 4 is also from Snakes and Arrows album and was done on the Snakes and Arrows tour, The Way the Wind Blows. I really love this song live. I really enjoy listening to this song, both studio and the live version on Snakes and Arrows, and it just sounds phenomenal. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it other than to me, it just sounds great. Live, would love to have seen it.
Was not played very many times, Ryan. Only set list says it's only played 113 times. That's pretty low.
Well, Snakes and Arrows was what I think they did 2 legs of that, right? So, yeah, I think it was only played on that tour.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird because for some reason I thought I heard that live. I thought that was done on R40 or Clockwork, but it wasn't. So I think Main Monkey Business was done on R40. So maybe that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I just would have loved to have seen that song live. Pat, your number 4?
All right, my number 4, like Alex, I'm going to throw it back to Caress of Steel, actually. I'm going to go with The Necromancer because when I got into Rush, I was already a huge fan of like 70s hard rock, and I loved reading fantasy books. So it was like this perfect kind of combination of the two. And yeah, I mean, Caress of Steel is overlooked. It's weird, and it's kind of an odd entry in the catalog, but I got a soft spot for the weird and the long prog rock type song. So I think it would have just been a wild experience to see that one live.
Totally. Ralph, your number 4.
So going back to Grace Under Pressure, my first concert, I saw them at the Philadelphia Spectrum. They played 2 nights. And the night I saw them, they played Kid Gloves. And the next night, they played After Image in its place. So I missed After Image. Would have rather seen Kid Gloves. I'm glad I saw that. But After Image has definitely been a great song to see.
Yeah. You got to love the rotating, when they rotate them and you miss one and,
Right.
you know.
That's how I feel.
I'll get there. Yeah. Go ahead, Mario.
My number 4 has to be Digital Man, which I believe the last time they played that was on Snakes and Arrows. And I've noticed that on the not the Grace Under Pressure, the Signals tour, they played it in a faster tempo. And I personally liked it in the faster tempo. But regardless of that, just the way, how we played the synthesizers and all that, the song, I really like the song because it's a great... When I was a radio DJ in college, I would always play Digital Man coming in after a break, and there was always some significance with that song, and just to see that song be played live just would have been very special. So, Digital Man, number 4.
Very cool. Alex, number 4?
Personally love Digital Man. That it didn't do as well as I thought it would on the deep tracks, but that's a great tune. I have a feeling that Ralph and I are going to have some merging set lists happening here or merging songs we missed, because my number 4 is Countdown, which he just mentioned is his number 5. Countdown was only played 112 times on the 82-83 Signals tour and never played again.
Yeah. Shame. Great obscure tune. Michelle, number 3.
Number 3 holds a special place in my heart. I use it. I use the studio version of it all the time when I teach U.S. history. It's the Manhattan Project. Would have been really, really cool to hear that live, and unfortunately, I didn't get to.
Yeah, that song rocks live. Let me
Great
tell you.
tune.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 is Mission from Snakes and Arrows. Well, from Hold Your Fire, but done on Snakes and Arrows tour. It's I always liked the version of this on, I think, a show of hands, but really loved the version of this on Snakes and Arrows as well, especially, which I would have loved to have seen live, Alex's fade out guitar solo on the studio version. I believe he kind of continues that out at the end of it, because kind of how do you fade out live? Yeah, I just think it's a really really killer song that is kind of often overlooked as a really great Rush tune, and I would have loved to have seen it live. Pat, number 3.
All right, my number 3, Losing It. For the longest time, I was kind of so on the song. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But after Rush retired, and especially after Neil passed, this one just it just took on another level. Like, just listening to it was a completely different experience. And then, especially, it's so unique with the electric violin by Ben Mink. And then what really bums me out is, apparently, according to Skip Daly and Eric Hansen's book, Wandering the Face of the Earth, I'm sure most of you have it. Ralph's got it in his background. They sound checked it at the Seattle show, but they didn't play it later that night. So I almost wish I didn't know they had sound checked it, because it makes it even more heartbreaking, because I was so close to getting Losing It live, but sadly no. Great song, hauntingly beautiful.
Well, they only did that, Alex, if you got it up, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 6 times total.
Yeah, 5 on R40.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
It was all on R40. It wasn't played live until R40. So
Yeah.
I was one of the fortunate ones that got to see it in New Jersey.
Me too.
Prudential that year, that tour. But yeah. Yeah, if anyone got to see Losing It live, I guess whether you really like the tune or not, I think you're pretty fortunate. Not one of my favorites, but I'm very grateful that I got to see it live. Ralph, number 3.
3 was from the Clockwork Angels tour. They were alternating Wish Them Well and 7 Cities of Gold. I saw Wish Them Well. I would have rather seen 7 Cities of Gold. Just, I love the funky bass intro. So that would have been very cool to see.
Yeah.
I watch it on the Clockwork Angels tour, and it's great to see.
Another one of those rotating songs, man.
Exactly right.
All right. Mario, number 3.
Number 3 is going to be Test for Echo. Only played on Test for Echo. I have a very special connection with Test for Echo because it came out around the time I was born. So, late 90s, I think it's very good. And just to hear that title song on tour around the year I was born just would have been, pretty amazing in my point. And especially looking at the video screen where it has like all these world events. I know there was something with Bill Clinton. I think the Queen Elizabeth was on there. I just think it's a very gives me chills listening to that song. So Test for Echo, number 3.
Cool. Alex?
My number 3 is also Losing It, like Patrick. If you look at the R40 tour where they played Losing It, it was just the 5 cities within about a 100-mile radius of New York, New Jersey, Ontario, and of course Jonathan Dinklage was the violinist who played it. And I personally love that song. That was one of those songs on the second half of Signals. When I had the old cassette tape in my Walkman, I would constantly rewind. Such a great tune. It really sad I missed it. And all the shows that I've seen Rush were either in the states of Washington, Oregon, or California. So never made it back east to see a show.
Yeah, that's true. It was definitely played in the Northeast. For some reason, I thought they did one out west, but I could be. That could be wrong. All right. Michelle, you're number 2.
Number 2, believe it or not, I missed The Garden. And that song is so emotional and so meaningful to us and my family and my husband and I. And unfortunately, I missed it on that tour.
So you missed Clockwork Angels, right, completely, because you listed 3 songs from that.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a phenomenal set. For sure. All right. My number 2 is Digital Man. Like what Mario was saying. Yeah. Now there's 4. I listed 4 songs from the Snakes and Arrows tour. And like I said prior, I just, I regret not going now looking back on it. And it's the type of thing where, all these songs that were only played on that tour have come to become some of my favorite Rush songs. And it's just, I hate myself for not going. But Digital Man, yeah, it's kind of a funky song. It sounds really good live. It was slowed down. I believe it was slowed down just a tiny bit in Snakes and Arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that just seems to be a song that you would really get into live. I mean, obviously you get into just about every Rush song live, but kind of the type of song that really gets you going, a really good vibe to see whether you're with your friends or whatever at the show. Yeah, would have loved to have seen Digital Man live.
And you love Smokin' Alex solos, Ryan, so you would have
I
loved to see
do.
it live because it was
Yep.
smoking.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, you hurt my feelings. My feelings, baby. It just, I hate myself for missing that tour. All right, Pat, you're number 2.
All right, my number 2, The Analog Kid. I just absolutely adore this song. Neil just, as he always does, paints just such a great picture, and the kid outside in the grass wearing the baseball cap and he's daydreaming. It just reminds me of youth. Like I had a big yard growing up, and I was out there all the time in a hat, daydreaming, just thinking about a bigger world. So as he often does, Neil he connects with you and with it through those lyrics. And I mean, the Alex Lifeson solo, I mean, it's got like that wah wah kind of sound intro to it, and then it's just razor sharp and it just hits you. I missed the Clockwork Angels tour, so I didn't get to see the Analog Kid. So that one's high up there for me.
Dude, that's up there with the Camera Eye in New York. The pop that solo got at the end of it. Yeah, that sucks. That to put it bluntly, that you were not able to see that live. Yeah, that was really
yeah. And to make it
They
worse,
it was the biggest surprise for me in the Counterparts tour. Just like, whoa, that's Analog Kid. They just broke into it, and it was early in the first set. And
or Clockwork, Clockwork Angel.
yeah.
And the first time I saw it was Counterparts.
Me too.
Oh,
That's
okay, all right.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw Analog Kid live too.
Yep.
That's awesome. I'm sure Mario and I are jealous. All right, Ralph, you're number 2.
Number 2, probably not one of the most popular songs, but it was the Test for Echo tour and Time in Motion. It's one of my favorite songs on that album, and they only played it 12 times on that tour, and unfortunately it was not in Philadelphia, so I missed that. Would have loved to seen that live. I was looking forward to it and was very disappointed. I still remember being disappointed after that tour that I didn't get to see it.
There's a good story about why they cut that song from the tour. I don't remember it exactly, but
okay.
yeah,
I noticed that it wasn't like an
it,
alternate song, right?
No,
they played it or they didn't play it, right?
They cut it, and they only did it in the first 20 dates of the tour, and then they just stopped playing it for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Mario, number 2.
Number 2, I have Dreamline. Now, I know the song's been played a lot back in the 90s. I wasn't alive most of the 90s. And they did play it on Clockwork Angels. Specifically, if I could listen to Dreamline played on any tour, it would be Clockwork Angels, specifically because of the string ensemble. They just add another layer to the magicalness of the song, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. It's one of those songs that I would drive down along the Jersey Shore, blasting loud and clear with the convertible down, the wind blowing in your hair.
Your hair?
You know what I mean? That hair, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Dreamline kicks ass live. All right, Alex, number 2.
Number 2 of mine has also been mentioned, After Image. Not played very many times, 42 times only in the 1984 leg of the Grace Under Pressure tour. And it's arguably my favorite song on Grace Under Pressure. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Wow, 42 times, that's it. It's pretty
Yep.
crazy. All right, well, we've got quite a bit of time left. We've done pretty well on time. So you want to each take one guess at each other's number 1 for your nice little twist on this. So Michelle goes next, but I say we do it. I say we guess.
Let's see. I want to guess Mario's because I think that's going to be.
Well, okay. My guess for Michelle. So you didn't see the Clover Rangers tour, so if I'm going to pick something from that.
Or R40.
Or R40.
That's you got a wide range of songs there.
Yeah.
You think that she has a wide range?
I do, but I have a big chunk that in the 90s and the early 2000s.
I don't know. We'll go with Lakeside Park.
Teen shows.
Lakeside Park.
It's not Lakeside Park. No, I saw Lakeside Park, and I'm not seeing where, but I saw Lakeside Park.
Okay. Anybody else got any guesses? I don't want this.
Ooh, Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder. Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh, yeah.
Not Jacob's Ladder either. I saw Jacob's Ladder.
Is it Natural Science?
No, I definitely saw Natural Science.
What about Entree Noir?
Entree New.
Entree New, yeah.
All right,
No,
why don't you tell us?
Could be here all day.
it's one that many of you have mentioned. It's Losing It.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Deep, beautiful, emotional song with the violin solo is something, unfortunately, that I got to miss. And, like Patrick said before, it wasn't one of those songs on your mega radar, right, that you have in rotation so often. And then after I did hear it live, it quickly became one of my favorites. Can't listen to it without getting emotional. And I just think I don't know, it really hurts that I missed it live, especially since I'm up here in the Northeast. I'm up here in New York. They played at a couple of different venues I could have seen that.
Sure.
So for me, it's Losing It.
Very, very unique experience. Very cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Are you going to guess yours, Ryan?
yeah, I'll give you a hint that I've already given you. It's from Snakes and Arrows onwards. So, and I saw all 3 tours after that.
Between the Wheels.
No, I saw that on R40.
Oh, dang. That was my best guess. And your favorite album.
I'll give you. No, not my favorite album.
Give us a decade.
I'll give you a hint. It was rotating. It rotated. It was
Red
one of
Bar-
the.
Red
it was a
Barchetta?
Nope.
Which one?
Nope.
Entree New?
Circumstances?
Entre New is close. It is not Circumstances either.
Ah,
I'll give you guys one more guess.
Distant Early
Early
Warning.
Kings.
No. It's Natural Science. So,
Oh, yeah.
Mario, you were there at Prudential with me on R40. They rotated Jacob's Ladder and Natural Science on
I was not
R40.
there.
And I thought you just said you were there.
Madison Square Garden, not Prudential Center.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, they rotated Jacob's Ladder with Natural Science on R40, and they rotated How It Is with One Little Victory on that as well. And I was very fortunate to have seen How It Is, which I happen to like more than One Little Victory. But I was really hopeful that I got to see Natural Science live instead of Jacob's Ladder, it being one of my favorite Rush songs. And I didn't. And it's at the top of my list because it pains me that was one that I never got to see live. And I had the opportunity to go see them a second time on R40 2 days after the show I saw, which they played Natural Science. Well, I say I had the opportunity. I mean, it was my last year of college. I guess I could have gone if I really had the money and wanted to, but it was in range. But we did not end up going to that. And yeah, it pains me to this day that I didn't get to see Natural Science live. Would have been a great concert going experience. So
In Portland in, I think, around 2011 or 2008 when they played it, Alex hit the chord on his guitar during the last, huge, big part of the song, and his tech had to go plug it back in and get it. It was a little bit disappointing, but it was really funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I saw that one on the in 2007 out here in Jones Beach.
Yep.
Sure. Yep. Well, yeah, there you go. I didn't see that all these were from Snakes and Arrows. That's a tour I didn't see that I could have. It was played there too, but I said R40 because, it was rotating and,
Yep.
Yeah, I think I first saw it on the Test for Echo when they started doing the evening with Russ. And I was so excited to see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that
And you saw-
07 or 08? Was that 07, Ralph? I can't remember which show.
I just remember it was the Test for Echo tour. So
Oh no, that
Yeah.
would have been 96,
96.
97.
Right.
Oh, 96, not
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that tour, though.
And so you said it would have been 2112 live too. What was your?
Yes.
We'll go to Pat in a second, but what was your initial reaction when you heard the opening part 2112?
Oh, I was.
Actually,
Well, I knew it was.
I
think
take
knew
that
it was
back.
going in.
What was? Oh, you did. Okay, well then.
We knew it was coming, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right.
I like spoilers.
Did the internet
Yeah.
exist back then? I mean, I guess it did.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
If you wanted to have spoilers, you could, and we didn't. So a funny story, the drummer in our band, Restless Youth, had a broken foot at the time, but when that came on, we were literally doing almost cartwheels in the aisle. Here's a guy with a broken foot on the floor. And,
I bet.
Awesome.
that's the kind of feeling.
Yep.
Unforgettable.
Yeah. All right. What do we think?
I'm going to take a stab at Mario.
Wait.
That's
we gotta wait for
Let's-
the other
we
two
gotta-
first.
Yeah, gotta do Pat. What do we think for Pat?
Red Barchetta.
Saw it on the Time Machine tour.
Could you give us a hint?
It's in the 70s. It's from the 70s.
A Passage to
Mystery.
Bangkok.
Nope, saw it on Snakes and Arrows.
Ooh.
Yep.
This
Hemispheres.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Yep. Book 2 Hemispheres because it's freaking Hemispheres. It's the peak of Rush's 70s prog rock. My entry point to Rush was I love, prog rock and 70s hard rock. So to me that song it's a masterpiece. Geddy Lee at the height of his vocal power range. He's got big and exhilarating guitar sounds down to beautiful and delicate. Neil's lyrics, they're action packed, but they're just thought provoking. I adore the song. I'm so jealous that I did not get to see it live. Great
I
song.
liked it better when it was played on the Counterparts tour. That prelude for Hemispheres.
Mm.
I wasn't crazy about the pitch of what they played it on the R40 tour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so on
pretty
the
dope.
Yeah, on R40 they did the prelude, but I still included it because it's less than half the song.
True.
So I felt like that just the prelude it's like 4 minutes out of 18. So I feel like I didn't get the full experience.
Yeah.
So I still put it on there.
Mhm.
All right. This is gonna be hard.
Mm.
Trying to guess
Ralph.
Ralph's.
You might as well give us the other one too while you're at it.
Why don't you give us the honorable mention first? So that
Number 6
Number
was
6.
How It Is.
Okay.
I like that song, and would have been fun to see live, but I would have something had to be number 6.
I
I'm
was
gonna
told
go with-
I was told
go
to
ahead.
sit down during How It Is.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
heard that story recently.
Beneath, between, and behind, rough.
No, it's already been mentioned, so
It's already been mentioned.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Fountain of Lamneth.
No, it's something I would have seen, but on the last tour, but only a few of us got to see that.
Okay.
Don't know.
oh, losing it?
Losing it, yes. Losing it.
okay,
I
of
like
course.
seeing that.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
For
Yeah,
some reason I thought
especially,
you said that earlier. Yeah. Okay.
Fair
this
enough.
this
Right.
crowd loves that song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially the way the end of the tour, their last tour, Neil's passing, right? It's just I would have liked to see that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. All right.
Come at me. Let's go.
This could be we could be here all day. So I don't know.
Oh man.
What tour you said you went to?
Remember, I was a late bloomer, so my first and only time I saw Rush was R40 at the Garden.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And
Good.
no, it's not YYZ. It's not Free Will. It's not Limelight.
Was
Okay.
it,
2112.
wait, was it before you were born?
Yeah. That's a good cutoff.
He was born in
Yeah.
96.
Was the song released? It was the song released before or after you were born in 97?
Well, I'll tell you this. It was already mentioned.
Yes or no? Was it?
The song came out, yes, before, around the time I was born. Let's put it at that, because I was born in 97.
Time and Motion.
Wow, you're good.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
oh,
Nailed
Very good.
the king doesn't
I-
miss.
I listen sometimes. All
it.
right, tell us why you would like to have seen it.
That song was one of the first songs I heard off a Test for Echo. I'll never forget it. My dad had a boombox and he was redoing the downstairs kitchen, and that song came on, and then those keyboard sounds. It's like da na 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 na, and that's what hooked me. I'm like, what is this? This isn't the Rush I knew. And then it just opened up into this whole world of like these experimental songs. And I'm just like, oh, this is amazing. You know, and just to hear that on tour, especially with like those lyrics, man, Time and Motion just kicks butt, man. I tell
Yes,
you.
it does.
I got to see it on tour.
Yeah.
Wipes tear.
Yeah.
Well,
Single cool guy tier.
yeah. All right. Alex,
Yes.
my guess is a Feral the Kings.
Nope.
Oh,
He knows too much.
he's too powerful.
Alex, this is your wow.
I'll tell you what, it's a pretty famous song. It was on 2 tours, one of which it was rotated out of when I should have seen it, so I missed it. Beloved Rush song. I just happened to miss it on the Hold Your Fire tour. That's my only really good hint.
Mission?
No.
Prime mover.
Nope.
Lock and Key.
Locking. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Nope.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a Hold Your Fire song, though. If
No.
Oh, good.
I don't know.
Okay.
Circumstances? I don't know what was played
No.
on Hold Your Fire tour.
It is the song Turn the Page.
Okay.
Mm.
It is a
Alright.
spectacular Rush song. I love it, and I didn't see it because I didn't go to Grace Under Pressure. That wasn't my first tour. My first was Power Windows, and then they played it on the Hold Your Fire tour, and they didn't play it when I saw them. And that song is wonderful.
That
Yeah.
version on A Show of Hands is great. I listen
Yes,
to it way
it
more
is.
than the studio version.
Oh yes, it's
Yeah.
so good.
Mhm. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, this was a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely interesting to see, you know, everyone's different perspectives from what shows they've been to and which songs they saw and rotating songs and so on and so forth. So it's really cool to see the wide range of what we all saw live and what we didn't see live. So this was a fun discussion. Those that you know, watch to the end of this, feel free to leave in the comments a couple songs that the band played live that you were not able to see live for whatever reason, and we can continue the discussion there and chat with you. So thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and email us if rushfansinstagram @gmail.com or DM us on Instagram if you want to come on a roundtable. So that being said, take care, everybody.